couple of weeks ago, man, real excited. January 23rd, 24th. We're talking about going into a game where the Broncos are taking on the Patriots, very beatable team, even with Stidham, for that AFC Championship game. Then I looked at the schedule. I'm like, holy, the Celtics and the Timberwolves are playing on Super Bowl Sunday. Man, I couldn't be more excited. 10 out of 10 on that meter. Let's see how it all turned out. Super Bowl Sunday arrives, February 8th. You've got the Seahawks meeting the Patriots. So I was clearly hoping that the Broncos would pull through with Stidham and they'd make it happen. They did not. They played against a very beatable team. They found a way to lose. Such is life. Sadly, it is what it is. But room for optimism. I had the Celtics going on before that game. I had the Timberwolves going on before that game. So, the Super Bowl, obviously the ultimate prize, that would have been the biggest deal. But because that wasn't happening, I have to jump into the NBA in a massive way. So, Celtics game starts. The Celtics found out this weird lineup once again where Keita and Garza, the 5 and 4, and you got Jaylen Brown, Baylor Shireman, and Derek White, while Pritchard comes off the bench, which, interesting enough, Vucevic is new. I kind of get the lineup combinations overall, but why are you running a 5 and a 4 with Garza and Keita out there? Anyway, the only reason I say that is because they get out to another awful start. The first quarter is crap. The second quarter mostly sucks. The Knicks win, flat out, period. Better team on the floor that day. So the Celtics aren't looking real great integrating Vucevic right now, and you can't really say anything that's too bad because it's only been a couple of games. But that's the start of Super Bowl Sunday. My day sucks so far. I then go into the Timberwolves game, and this, because the Broncos lost, this is the one I'm really excited about. The Timberwolves have been awful lately. There's no getting around it. I don't know what they need in regard to some type of injection. Maybe they need some cocaine before games. I don't know what it is. But I'm assuming now they got Ayo Dosunmu as a combo guard, which is what they needed. That's what they needed. You just needed somebody better off the bench to come in and perform here and there. So I felt like the injection would be there, the energy would be there. They're going against a Clippers team led by Kawhi Leonard almost exclusively with John Collins. He's all right. And then a bunch of other guys that I would assume no one in the league is, very few people have heard of. Like Simmons and the guy off the bench with the long European name as their backup center. There's no Zubac, there's no Garland, there's no Harden anymore, obviously. I assume that the Timberwolves would go out, represent what they can do, and stomp this team. Quite the opposite. They sucked. There's this commentary of, oh, gee whiz, the dog days of the NBA season. That's where we are right now. I know 50-year-old dudes that play at the YMCA 5 days a week and they work full-time jobs. They play basketball just because they like it. NBA players making $35 million a year don't. They just don't like it enough to kind of keep giving effort. What else could it be? The Timberwolves didn't just lose this game. They got absolutely slaughtered by Kawhi Leonard only, pretty much. And Chris Dunn, who got in a fight with Julius Randle for some stupid reason. Julius Randle would have killed him and tore him to shreds. I'm surprised he didn't. That was the only fight the Timberwolves showed. And like I said, I don't understand the mentality why they just don't care. They lost to the Jazz recently. They lost to the Clippers at home. The other night they took on the 13-40 Pelicans and found a way to lose that one. What is it? Everybody else has to work and perform and etc. And you guys are like, it's just the dog days. Let's take the All-Star break and restart it. So anyway, long story short, fast forwarded to Super Bowl Sunday. It sucked. The Broncos didn't find a way. The Patriots sucked. Seattle won that game. It wasn't close. I kept paying attention. It was 3-0. It was 6-0. It was 9-0. It was 12-0. Kenneth Walker was the only one who did anything. And then the Seattle defense, obviously. Shout out to Kenneth Walker because the last MVP as a running back to win it in the Super Bowl, Terrell Davis. So that's worth mentioning. There's no doubt about it. You know what else is worth mentioning? how sad it was to see Seattle win. And not because I hate them so much. I kind of do, frankly. I kind of hate the Seattle Seahawks and their fans because of what douchebags I found them to be the last 3 to 4 years. But they had their rights. They're like, you guys are going to not like Russell Wilson. They were fucking spot on. Spot on. I hate Russell Wilson. Sierra, I don't understand it. Russell Wilson is such a goober. I use the term goober. I haven't used that for 20 years. He's such a fake poser nerd. I mean, I couldn't believe what a dork he was. Playing quarterback in the NFL, you got to have some swag, some charisma, some personality. No, the guy does not have any. He does not have any. Sierra, what is wrong with you? Anyway, so that happened. The Broncos didn't make it. Seattle did because they made all the right moves. They fleeced the Broncos in the Wilson trade, and there you go. Broncos had a good season, but I digress there. The other part of this, and the bigger part, the Vikings. If you're a Vikings fan, which that's my second team, and I know so many people, family, friends, etc., who've rooted on the Vikings for years, they can't be more demoralized. They haven't made a Super Bowl since the 70s. They lost all those, the Fran Tarkington era, etc. They haven't even sniffed a Super Bowl. I wrote a book and published it on how bad they were for 50 years. They haven't even sniffed a Super Bowl since, 98, 99? Randall Cunningham, Randy Moss, Chris Carter, Jake Reed, Andrew Glover. They were great then. They found a way to lose, otherwise they would have taken on the Broncos in that Super Bowl in 1999. It would have been the most beautiful game in the world. I would have loved to see it. And they found a way to not lose. 26, 27 years later, they've not sniffed it again. They did in the Favre era in 2009, but they didn't make it then either. And now, guys like my dad, he's on the wrong side of a certain age. Every year it's the same thing. He's like, yeah, I don't even care about the Vikings. Fantasy football's fun, Bobby, etc., etc. I'm like, Dad, you sure shit care about the Vikings. And it rips you a little bit each time they find a way to lose. And now not only do they not make it anywhere this year, but the guy they didn't want to pay $30 million a year to, Sam Darnold, is the QB for the Super Bowl winning Seattle Seahawks. Not only, and he didn't just play like a Trent Dilfer. Last week or 2 weeks ago against the Rams, he was outstanding. He's one of the massive reasons they won. He's the massive reason they're here. He's the quarterback on the Super Bowl winning Seahawks. So all in all, did this suck at the highest levels? Yes. Did it butt fuck the Broncos and the Vikings all the way while doing it? Yep. So yeah, Super Bowl Sunday sucked this year. I'm glad it's over. On to the next. Make it rain.